everyone, welcome back. I'm Naomi.
I'm Adam.
We're so glad you joined us today. So today we're going to be canning, do some pressure canning and actually water bath canning. This taco soup, we've never made this before. It's new to us, both of these recipes. And then from the Ball Blue Book of Guide to Preserving, we're going to be doing the basil garlic tomato sauce. We have a ton of tomatoes, absolutely used. Our house is full of fruit flies, right? They won't go away. So we got to get this stuff used up today. We did a couple things ahead of time. You'll see that at the beginning of the video. So let's get started. Hope you guys enjoy this.
Let's make something delicious.
So these are the tomatoes. We have a ton. You can see, I mean, there's bowls of them. But I scored the skins. I will link the tomato recipe or the tomato canning video that I did to show you the whole process. But I scored these and got these in boiling hot water, and then I'm gonna let them cool and get the skins off and chop them and all the things. And we will show you that when we get there. All right, for our taco soup, it asks for these fruit flies. There's 2 pounds of ground beef in here. I'm gonna get this back on the heat, and then I'll show you the next step. All right, the next thing this recipe calls for is 4 cups of onions. So I'm gonna get those cut up. We did these 2 bowls. Here are 4 pounds of tomatoes. It says to puree them or food mill them. I'm not doing that. I don't own one. So we just chopped them up to a size that we liked. And then I'm going to get these these onions cut up and try to fill this up to our 4-cup line. All right, so 2 of these monster onions did 4 cups. Earlier, I strained and rinsed our black beans and our kidney beans for the soup. It said it needed 1 pound, and that's what I measured. And now I got to get, 10 cloves of minced garlic, which we're going to use our garlic from our garden. And then we need 4 cups of corn, which I'm going to go grab real quick. Okay, so I was looking at the wrong recipe. We do not have to puree these tomatoes, which is great because I don't have a food mill. The tomato sauce it says, but I'll show you what we do when we do the tomato sauce. But yeah, we're gonna get this all together after we grab our garlic and our corn from our basement. All right, before I get the corn and stuff, I'm gonna dump our 4 pounds of tomatoes, like that. Our 4 cups of onions. And our 1 pound of beans, and start getting them warmed up while we wait. It also requires 10 cups of water, which I'm gonna add next. So I added tin cans of our filtered water, and I'm gonna add in, it's just frozen corn because that's what I have. We do not have the space to grow corn, unfortunately. One day. And then I'm gonna get the garlic from our garden all stirred up or cut up and get it added to this. And then this gets some seasonings, and we add, let's see what it says. We're gonna add salt, chili powder, and black pepper, and that's it. It's gotta boil for 5 minutes, and then it'll be ready to can. Here is one of the heads of garlic from our yard. You can see that it started to pull away. So I'm gonna use that, and this one's beautiful. Look at him. It says 10 cloves, which might only be 1 head. We'll see, and we'll get this cleaned up and chopped. Look how pretty the garlic is. It's beautiful, and they're huge heads. We got 9 off the 1 bulb, so we're just gonna use 9 because they're so big. We're gonna get these crushed up. Okay, now this calls for 2 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, that. And then 1 tablespoon of black pepper. If you hear chopping in the back, Adam is getting our 20 pounds of tomatoes ready for our tomato sauce. And this is it for this recipe.
That's right.
So it's 2 pounds of ground beef, a pound of beans, 10 cups of water, 4 pounds of tomatoes, 4 cups of onion, 4 cups of corn, 10 cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, and a tablespoon of ground black pepper. And it says to bring it to a boil, a gentle boil, for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to get, while that does that, I'm going to get my jars washed and cleaned and sterilized and get my pressure canner ready to go. Okay, and my pressure canner, I filled, it's like an inch or 2 of water. It's actually too full. I'm going to have to take water out when I empty my jars. But I washed and checked all the rims and the jars for nicks. You want to just, like I said, we want to check all your jars to make sure they don't break inside your pressure canner. I filled them up with water, and I have the heat going just to get these warm. Our soup back here it's ready to go. I turned it down. It smells really good. The ingredients are, yeah, it does, right? The ingredients are super simple, but man, does that smell amazing. So once this comes and gets my jars warmed up, I'm going to put the lid on this so they warm faster. I will show you how we fill these jars. All right, so I got all my jars out of my canner. They are hot to touch. My soup's sitting here. I got my funnel, got my jar grabber. I got a rag to wipe the rims. I got my lids and rings over here. So I'm just going to get these filled to 1 inch headspace. I don't know if you can see that too good, but there's a 1 right here. That's what I use. I like stick that on the side of the jar to measure my 1 inch headspace. So I'm going to fill these to when I think it's approximately there. And then I will measure, make sure everything's good to go. All right, now that I'm there, I'm going to take this and measure. It can go a little bit more. Usually it's around the top of this rim here. Yep, that's my 1 inch headspace right there.
Hold on. 1.
All right, I'm just going to keep filling these jars up and get them filled up to 1 inch headspace. Okay, I got these all filled to 1 inch headspace. There's very little left in this pot, which is good. We'll taste test it since we've never had it before. And this made 7 quarts, which is perfect for my pressure canner. So I'm just going to wipe these rims really well. You want to make sure there's nothing that could stop the lid from completely sealing. And once I get these completely cleaned, I will get lids on the jars, and then I will tighten them to fingertip tight with our rings, and then I will get them put in the canner. The canner, or this recipe says for my elevation, so you always want to check. And once again, I'm not a professional. You need to do your own research. It's your kitchen, but do this safely. My elevation, I do 10 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes with my specific pressure canner. And then that's what I'll do. You have to let it come up and be safe. And like I said, I've never had any problems. So just use your own discretion and be very careful as you do your canning, and do your own research as you continue your canning process or as you are learning. Okay, so I'm putting these in like this. I have about 1 inch of water in there. It will come up as I add the jars, of course. But yeah, I get 7 quarts per canner full. So that's pretty cool. And it's awesome to have these pre-made, ready-to-go foods on our shelves. We never regret it. Like the Mexican chicken soup I made, it's already gone. The chili I made is almost already gone. We just like it. And It makes like Adam when he leaves for work, if he doesn't have anything like leftovers in the fridge, he will take that, and it just makes it easy on our budget too. All right, so now that these are in here, I'm gonna crank the heat up a little bit, and I'm gonna get this lid on here like this, because mine has a, well, maybe it lines up here, and then, oh, it's tight.
This has got a new seal.
Yeah, because it's got a new seal. So what I'm going to do is let the heat come up, and then this thing will start spewing steam, and this little knob has to come up and stay up for 10 minutes before I can put my weight on here. So we'll go to there. All right, we got a steady stream. It's hard to see. You can see it right there. We got steam coming out. This dude here popped up. So now I set my timer for 10 minutes. And I don't do anything else. I just let that go for 10 minutes, and then we'll get the weight put on. Okay. This is almost done. I am going to take this nifty weight and put it on here like that, and let this come up till that little, this dial hits the 10. And then we'll stabilize the heat and let it go for an hour and a half. But you don't time it yet. It still has to come up to pressure, so we're going to wait until that happens. All right, you can see that this is at 10 pounds of pressure. I'm going to set my timer for an hour, 90 minutes, an hour and a half. And I'm just going to keep adjusting my heat back here. Because I know my pressure canner, and you'll have to just adjust as you go. And I'll let that go and just keep checking the pressure, and I will show you guys what it looks like when it is done being canned. Okay, we're gonna start making the basil garlic tomato sauce. Adam is, look how big these are. That's crazy. He's gonna, he's peeling the garlic, and we're gonna just chop it. I'm using one of my garlic pucks with the basil, not garlic pucks, basil pucks. It has all, it's because it calls for a tablespoon of olive oil, and that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use that. And then I got this fresh from my garden. It says 1/4 cup. I'm going to cut this up and get this in this pan. And I'll show you the process from there. All right, well, Adam cuts up this garlic. I'm going to cut up this an onion. It says 1 large onion. So I'm going to get that chopped up. All right, so I got my garlic puck, or my, I keep saying garlic puck, my basil puck in here, and I'm just going to add the garlic we roughly chopped, because this is getting like pureed. So I'm just going to add this garlic in to here, and then all of this. Like that. That's what it looks like. I'm going to get this sauteing. It says to saute this for, well, it just says until the onion's transparent, so that's what I'm going to do, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, I just put this on my heat. I'm gonna get this going, sauteing this. It doesn't say to add the basil, but I think it's gonna be fine. Because it says to add that at the end, but my little basil puck will be great in there. I make dinner, my basil pasta. I do the same thing, and it works out just fine. So we're gonna get this sauteed, and then I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. Starting to saute. You should smell this. Like, it's insane. The smell of this is going to be awesome. So we're making the sauce as like a, it's like a base, because it doesn't have salt or anything in it. It's just this, the garlic, the onions, and then tomatoes pureed, and then you add basil at the end. So I'm going to think this is going to be like a base. We could add it to soups. We can add it to, like, we can make our own spaghetti sauce with it. Like add tomato paste and like other seasonings, and I think it's going to be super good. All right, we're gonna dump our peeled tomatoes. We peeled and chopped these already. We're gonna add this. Whoa, to there. Hopefully it fits. I doubt it will. Okay, we had to transfer to our bigger pot. That little pot wasn't going to cut it. So we have 20 pounds of tomatoes that we already peeled and chopped going in here. And this is supposed to come up and simmer for 20 minutes. And then we're going to take our immersion blender and we're going to blend this all together. And then we'll add basil, and it's supposed to simmer and reduce down to like half. Because I wondered why it was only 3 quarts of tomatoes or tomato sauce, but it wants it to reduce. I don't know if I'll quite go that long, so maybe I have a runnier sauce for like our spaghetti and stuff, but we'll see when we get there. Alright, this has been simmering for 20 minutes. It says to put it in a food mill. We don't own one, but we did get the skins off already, and I don't care about the seeds. It never bugged us before. So I'm just going to get this immersion blended. Alright. Now it says I'm supposed to let this simmer until it reduces in half. I probably won't let it go that long because I don't want a real thick sauce. And then I'll show you what it looks like. I got to add the basil too. Let me do that real quick.
Tomatoes and basil from the garden.
Yep.
And garlic.
And garlic, yeah. One day our onions will grow right. Alright, now I'm just going to stir this in and get this back up to a hefty simmer, and I'm going to let it go for a bit, and I'll show you what I think's a good consistency, and then we'll get it canned up. Alright, I got time's up on this guy here. It went above what it was supposed to, so now I'm doing nothing except turning the heat off. I'm going to let this sit and get back down to 0. I need this to drop completely down, and then after that drops down and I wait a couple minutes, I will remove my weight. But I'm not doing anything now. I just turned the heat off. And that here is our sauce that is starting to come to a simmer. We're going to let this simmer for quite a bit, and then I'll show you what consistency I think is good to get it canned. Okay, so this has gone back down to 0. You can see on that little dial. But this thing, there's still a ton of pressure. So once again, I'm not touching this guy until that guy goes down. And once he does, we'll get that weight off and get these out of this canner. And then this is simmering down very nicely. I don't know how thick or thin I don't know. We'll see. Because I don't want it to be super thick because I want to use it on multiple things. So I'll just keep stirring, and when I feel like it's ready, I'm gonna get it canned. Alright, so this guy went down. I removed the weight from my pressure canner, and I'm still gonna wait a couple more minutes to get until I take these jars out, just to make sure they're ready to be taken out. Alright, so I got my jar grabber. I got my 2 towels down. You don't want to stick hot jars again on a cold surface, so I'm gonna remove these jars of taco soup from the canner. That one broke. Oof. And this just happened. That's all. I checked my jars, but like I said, these things happen. So I'm gonna have to clean up my canner and get this thrown away and whatever. But yeah, it happens to the best of everyone. So just be careful and make sure you check your jars really well. Alright, so this sauce here is what I'm just going to stick with this consistency. It'll be fine. I'm heating up my jars. They've been washed and sterilized. I cleaned out my canner because that was a disaster, but that's okay. Like I said, it happens. I'm going to let these warm up, and then I'll get the lids and rings on, and we'll get this sauce canned. It's really pretty, and it smells really good. So, yeah. I'll take you along on the next few steps. Okay, so this goes the same as the soup. I'm going to get it to 1-inch headspace, And then I'm gonna wipe the rims and get the rings and the lids and the rings on. This is a beautiful sauce. It's got a good color. I've never made it before. Hopefully it's delicious. I think it will be. I don't think you can really screw up basil, garlic, and onions with the tomatoes, but all right, we're gonna go to there. And then check our headspace. Well, that's perfect. All right, so I'm just gonna keep doing this. So I forgot to add the 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I just went back through and redid, but I used 2 tablespoons per quart and 1 tablespoon per pint. So I'm gonna do that and just keep going. All right, so I'm gonna wipe my rims again. Give them a good wipe. And then I'll get the lids and rings on and get them into our canner. So you wanna make sure that when you water bath can, that the jars have submerged under about an inch or 2 of water, because you're gonna lose a lot of the water as it steams when it cans. Once this comes to a boil, I'm going to set the timer for 40 minutes. That's what is required for quarts and 35 for pints, and then I will show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, so my tomato sauce went for 40 minutes. I'm gonna get these out of this canner and set on our pads, and then I'll show you the whole bunch of jars when I am all done. Here are our goodies for the day. I got 6 of these. There should have been 7, but that one broke, and I got 7 of these. And yeah, oh, I love the ping noise. I'm gonna leave these sit for probably till tomorrow, at least 12 hours, and then I will check the seals and remove these rings, and that'll be that. Friends, thank you for being here today. We got this taco soup, and there's tomato sauce I just pulled out. I don't want to touch it, it's really hot. But we got that canned, so that's 13 quarts that are going to go on our pantry shelf, and we're excited to have it for this winter and hopefully into the spring. Thank you for being here. If you like these kind of videos, please like and subscribe. And if you'd like to share with your friends, that would be amazing. And remember to use your own discernment as you go into the world of canning. It's simple and easy, but you want to be safe. Thanks for being here again, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.